Saxby.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Devon is in the middle of a special educational needs pandemic, unrelated to the pandemic. I talked briefly before being elected to this place and was shocked at the number of children with special educational needs. I had entire classes where every single student had a special educational need. And as a newly qualified teacher, you simply cannot do anything beyond what a more experienced colleague advised, which is to treat every child as special, which indeed they are. I want to start by paying tribute to all the parents, teachers and students who are battling the system to get what they believe is right for their child back home in North Devon. I recognise those frustrations, my inbox is full of those concerns, but my words today are not about individual cases. We need, when looking at this issue, to aggregate up to try and better understand what is happening. And in Devon, we seem to have far too many children being given a label rather than the help they need to fulfil their potential. The excellent report by the South West Social Mobility Commission found that the South West has the fewest children from disadvantaged backgrounds reaching expected levels in reading, writing and maths at age 11 of any region, just 37% compared to 53% in London. The region also has the fewest young people from any background going on to level 4 or above educational training. Progression rates amongst those from disadvantaged backgrounds are just 50% in the South West compared to 76% in London. Within these statistics, Devon is an enormous education authority, which on average clearly doesn't look too great from these figures. But even this hides the variance of what is going on in the northern part of the county, where our social mobility is significantly worse than the south. Devon is diagnosing SEN and giving out EHCPs at twice the rate of our neighbouring councils. The number of children and young people with an EHCP in Devon has grown from 3,718 in 2017 to 8,400 in 2023, a 126% increase. Families in Devon pursue an EHCP as they know this will gain them better support than without one. But it is no wonder that budgets are under pressure with this explosion. I would like to see far more work being done to understand why this is the case, how we can reduce this, and how we can raise the educational attainment and social mobility of our young people, rather than increase the labels that they carry. The situation in Devon has gone on for years, and we now have a cohort of young people leaving school with few qualifications, a special educational need, and limited support to move forward. The situation is so severe that a recently arrived Academy Trust has had to adapt their normal processes because of the level of SEN and the high number of pupils unable to cope with their discipline regime. Whatever the rights and wrongs of their regime, that things are so different in Northern Devon to elsewhere in the country does ring alarm bells, particularly because being so sparsely populated, it's not like a city whereby if something goes really badly wrong at school, you can switch to another school. My schools have some of the biggest catchments in the country. If children and their parents feel they would be better served outside of their existing school, this results in children being home educated. For some families this is ideal, for many it is not. And having been the home education for a child whilst I taught, I do not believe the 1 hour a week I provided replaces a school education. And no one seems to be able to fully track where these children are, how many have opted out of school or been off-rolled, and what provision they are receiving. For those that have particularly complex needs and require a special education, we currently have 140 applications for every 30 places. Children are travelling halfway across the county to get to school. 90 minutes in a car is no way to start the day. It also means any friendships are unlikely to extend beyond school, and the costs involved are astronomical. Devon SEN transport costs have risen from 10.4 million to 26.8 million, a 157% increase. There is clearly an argument that Devon needs more funding, receiving an average of 790 per head compared to the national of 886, ranking us 122 out of 151 local authorities. We budget far too much at 289 per capita funding for independent specialist providers, double the English average, and in 2022 budgeted 25% larger per capita spend. But against this backdrop, I do warmly welcome the work from the government and their commitment to work with the Devon County Council to tackle this, with the Minister's engagement and his predecessor. I warmly welcome the commitment to build new special schools in Devon. However, the delay on 2 of them is putting further pressure onto council budgets. The arrival of the new and proactive Chief Executive at Devon County Council does give me hope for the future with her experience of delivering in rural areas. but the rate of growth in SEN is not sustainable. Rural per pupil funding, particularly for transport, does need addressing, and we need better sustainable early years support and intervention so that pupils can avoid the need to apply for an EHCP. And I do hope that the Minister will be able to find time to meet with me and Devon colleagues about the challenges our constituents and councils are facing.